Spoiler alert, I'm a little phlegmy. So there could be some like throat clearing. There could be some sniffling. So if you're eating and you don't like, you might want to avoid this because I'm going to be sounding like I'm drowning for a little bit. You know what? Because that's how I do it. What's up, everybody? Episode 93, the Newberg Podcast. It's just me today, J. Chris Newberg, talking to you for about 30 minutes about stuff on my brain, things that are on my mind grapes. As always, which I haven't done in a long time. If you want to text me, ask me a question. 310-696-8151 if you just got something on your brain. If you want to be like, I love the show, man, or hate the show, dude, or whatever, just feel free. Text away anytime. This is kind of my job right now because I'm not working and I haven't worked since August. So I'm just doing podcasts. I do this one. I do one with Hannah on Wednesdays. It's the same Newberg podcast, but it's with Hannah. So it's a lot more about like what's going on with Hannah and me trying to kind of guide myself through her stories. And then I also do Advice Guys with Josh. I've been putting it on this channel for the past week or so, or 2 weeks. And, it's getting about the same amount of views, same amount of clicks, same amount of likes. There's a core group of you who listen to pretty much every episode. And for that, I thank you. I thank you very much. So thank you for listening. Let's dive right in. The Grammys were yesterday, and the Grammys were pretty Grammy-ish, I guess, or the Grannies, I like to call them, because that's how my back feels when I'm watching them. Am I right? No, I'm not. Why am I in better shape now than I was like 2 years ago? Is it because I tried? Is that why? Because remember like 2 years ago, 3 years ago during my special, I was like, oh, I know I'm going to die. I can't put on my underwear without falling over. That's how I'm going to go. And now it's like once I started doing yoga all the time, it's like I can put on my underwear standing up on one foot. What does it have to do with the Grammys? I don't know, because I was making a granny's joke. It's hard to be self-dep when you're happy and you're improving. It just doesn't come across as honest. It really doesn't. So the Grammys, here are my thoughts on the Grammys. I thought Trevor Noah did a great job. He was really great. He was funny. He was passionate. He was compassionate. He was just great. I thought he did a really good job. I only watched the show for like 20 minutes. I usually watch big award shows for the purpose of the monologue because of the biz. And I also kind of want to see what's going on with the young people and see what's happening. I do think it's funny that there's so many different people of my age and a little bit older who are like, I don't even know who any of these people are anymore. Just remember when you were a kid, what did your parents say? Your parents said, I don't even know who any of these people are anymore. Yeah, it's the thing. But also at the same time, the Rolling Stones won a Grammy and the Beatles won a Grammy. So you kind of know who some of them are. I didn't know too much about Charlie XCX, and I've heard a bunch of stuff, and I was like, oh, she's performing, cool. I'll get to see what this is all about. I get it. She's fun. She's just very young people. She had a bunch of, she comes out and she's got models surrounding her and thin people and people making out and people in crazy lights, and she's got people like dancing. So it's kind of like a nightclub that I've never been to. Not that I've never been to a nightclub, but I've never been to a nightclub that looked that fucking cool with that many attractive people who all look like they have not eaten since 1998 when food was a thing. But Lord, I get it. I was like, oh, this girl's fun. And she didn't sing. I think she lip synced the whole thing, or she whatever, but whatever. It was dancey and it was fun. And I totally get why people want to be a brat. I watched, who else did I watch? I watched Dawes. Dawes opened the show with I Love LA. I love the way the Grammys played the Los Angeles theme of people being appreciative of Los Angeles because LA is a great place. It is a great place. I make fun of it, and I can the same sort of way you make fun of the place you live. It's just about being local and about being an entertaining place. I just really enjoy Los Angeles, and so do so many people, because as much as it sucks, it's a bag of dreams, and you got to grab yours. You got to do your thing. Let's see. Kanye West was there. He didn't even go. He just did the red carpet, and then he left. That guy, I think that dude is smart. He's just smart. Everybody's always talking about him. Everybody's always like, well, can you believe what Kanye did? Can you like, that's your job to walk around to get people to be like, can you believe what Kanye did? Like, I do 3 podcasts a week. 3. I jump up and down. I'm like, watch my shit. It's funny because it is funny, but no one's talking about it. No one's running around going, did you hear the Newberg podcast? That'd be cool. That's a great positive visualization to have. But like, I'm not parading my wife around naked. But side note, what a pretty lady. how gorgeous was that? Is that Bianca Sensori woman? My word, she's everyone's like, can you believe she walked around naked on the thing? Yeah, if I looked like that, I would walk around. I would dance constantly in public. I would never wear clothes. It's like the Matthew McConaughey era when he was all shirt. He never wore a shirt. Just if you look like that, you're not going to look like that forever. Wear it, love it, uh, own it. God bless you. I'm all for it. People are like that's I can't. Can you believe that? No, you don't look like that. But if you did, trust me, that's where you'd be. You'd be in that world, all clothesless. Plus, no one's talking about him. It's amazing. Like when you have something that beautiful on your arm or that naked, no one gives a fuck what you're doing. You can do anything you want, and I'm sure that works out for him because a lot of people look at him. Uh, what else is going on? Oh, okay. Let's talk about a couple of different phrases that we need to work past. We just need to figure out a couple of different phrases we need to get through. We need to just get past them, or we need to be honest. Oh, wait. Two more things about the Grammys. I completely forgot. Number one, everybody's like, oh, can you believe Beyonce won for Best Country? Yeah, absolutely. What does Beyonce lose? She's never lost anything, ever. She's got a cool name. She's diverse. She's got blonde hair. Her husband is worth a billion. They're billionaires. She's successful. She takes chances. I mean, she's got an army of fans, and she doesn't fail. She seems safe. She doesn't seem to be doing stupid shit. Yeah, I believe she wins whatever she wants. She's already won at life. Why wouldn't she win an award? People are like, well, that's not very country, but just in general, the Grammys, the Academy Awards, uh, the Oscars, which is another name of saying Academy Awards. So the Grammys, the Oscars, the Emmys, all are it's the most ridiculous concept of what art is about. I got distracted by a pop-up ad that there's a fire in Glendale, and I was like, what? But it's far enough away that I should finish this episode for you because you deserve it. You have earned this episode. Art in general, just like remember when you pick up something, when you pick up your guitar and you start singing or your bass or you start taking classes or lessons, and you get to the point where if you're in that room, if you're lucky enough, I mean, think about it. There's millions of people who are trying really fucking hard, and there's millions of podcasts. I'm happy with the core group of people who listen. Do I wish it was more? Yes, please follow us on YouTube. Please subscribe. We're already up to 165 followers on YouTube. I don't know what it means when it gets to 200. I don't know what it means when it gets to 300, but I do know that you'll enjoy it if you actually try. Some of you are listening to this on audio right now, and you're like, why do I need to join it on YouTube? I don't know. Be supportive. Give me some hope. I'm not asking for money. I do this for free. I do this because I love it. I do it because I love it, but please follow. Please follow me. Please follow and subscribe on YouTube at Newberg Pod. Please, please. I need it. I need it. What else? Oh yeah. Okay. So, can you believe someone won an award? You're the fact that you're invited to an awards ceremony for your artistic ability. That's your award. If you sell 1 million albums and you go on tour, that's your award. I get to do 5 shows in Detroit. In 2 weeks, February 27th through March 1st, that's my reward. That's my award and reward. And my ward cleaver. Side note, there should be a movie with RuPaul, Jake Paul, and Aaron Paul, and Logan Paul. And it should be about a dude or dudes who beat up old people, but then give them a makeover. And then they would call it All or Nothing. They would call it Paul or Nothing. I missed the punchline on that, but it hit hard. Paul or nothing, baby, you and I. It'd be great. What else was I saying? So many different things. Okay, so done with the Grammys. Back to phrases. Phrases that I think we need to get past. Think phrases that we need to look into. Phrases that we need to discuss and discover and take back. Okay, the phrase, I don't know who needs to hear this, it just needs to be stopped. Because it sounds... You're like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but just like if you're upset about tariffs, it's okay to live and work in our country and then blah, blah, blah. You know who needs to hear it. So just be like, hey, Kevin, fuck off. And then say it. You know who needs to hear it. Anytime you say, I don't know who needs to hear it, it kind of sounds like you know who needs to hear it. It just does. Um, okay, number two, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Why would you say you weren't just talking? You were just quiet. Somebody said something, that's what I'm talking about. You weren't talking. They were talking. How about just like, I agree. That's better. It's way less words, way less oxygen. So many less plants are needed. I agree. Let's see. Okay. Also, pick your brain. I'm gonna pick your brain. I want to pick your brain. You mind if I pick your brain? You mean ask me a question? Do you mind if I pick your brain? You mean take an ice pick and murder me? You mind if I pick your brain? You mean work for free? Yeah, I kind of do. I kind of do. Why don't you just ask me the fucking question instead of giving me anxiety over the fact that I'm like, what's this going to be about? How long is this question going to be? When in reality, I'll sit on the phone with you for as long as I need to, but also just fucking ask the question. Pick my brain. You're probably smarter than me. I know you're just doing research. Can I pick your brain? I think it'd be cool. Like, I got a water pick though. That was pretty dope. Um, Water picks are great. I'm sure some of you have them. I don't. I didn't until my dentist was like, "You need to get a water pick." So I'm like, "Okay." And when you get older, that's the more fun, like the funnest part about going to the doctor. It's like when you're younger, they're like, you go there and you're just like, "Oh, I just fell off a tree. Oh, you'll be fine. Here's a band-aid. Rub some dirt on it." Now you're like, "Oh, your gums are receding at an alarming rate." No, just the normal middle-age rate. Middle-aged. Ugh. Get a water pick. So I got a water pick, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to use a water pick. So of course I put water in the bottom of the water pick, and I turn it on, and it starts shooting me in the face. And I'm like, okay. So I like wipe my face off, and then I like start shooting my mouth, and then all this water's gushing all over. And I'm like, I don't know, this has got to be entertaining. So if it's gonna help my gums and entertain me and ruin a shirt all in the same sitting, I'm all about the water pick. Let's circle back. Let's circle back. What do you mean, circle back? Why are you circling back? What do you mean? You mean talk about it later? You mean like we're never going to do this? You mean like let's put a pin in it? Let's put a pin in it? Why don't you stab it? Why don't you put that pin in someone's brain? Why don't you pick their brain? I don't know. My favorite phrase, we need to talk. Oh, God. Is there anything more anxiety inducing than we need to talk, or a text that's we need to talk? Holy goodness gracious bundle of soup. That just gives me crazy, crazy, craziness. Um, let's see, what else I want to talk about? So many different things. Okay, tariffs. I gotta be honest. Unless there's a show called America's Got Tariffs, I don't want to watch. I'm not interested. Do I think things are going to be more expensive? Probably. Do I think it's going to change my life? Probably not. I'll be honest, this is just from my perspective. You guys all have your own perspectives. I know that no one listens to me for politics, or as a listener said the other day, hey man, why don't you not be political and go back to being fucking funny? What are you talking about? I did this joke of my friend Scott sent me an idea for a joke. He's like, did you realize that Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka all have the initials DEI? And I was like, oh, that's funny. DEI, this is the original DEI. The letters joke, not political, just the letters joke. And someone's like saying all that. So I'll be honest. I love button pushing. I don't listen. All right. So, yeah. So I'm sorry. That pause was brought to you by my brain doing a remix of the reality I was like, what am I talking? And I do the thing now where I'm like, oh, I can just keep talking till I remember. Now I've remembered, and I can do that. That's a trick. A lot of comics do that. They'll be up on stage like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Speaking of segues, I hate bananas. And then they just go into it. So when Trump was president, when Obama was president for 4 years, and then when Trump was president for 4 years, and then Biden was president for 4 years, and now Trump has been president for however many days. My life's been pretty much the same. Is it because I'm a white dude? Maybe. It's the only perspective and the only lens I can look through. But like, still, it was always hard to find work in the entertainment field. It always was. It was always not easy. It wasn't. But it worked out. I always figured out. I always got jobs. I always found a stage to go to. There was always people there who could afford to buy tickets. It was all. It's kind of the same. So when people are like, "My life," and how you? It's kind of the same. A lot of people are more scared. A lot of people are happy. It's kind of the same. Kind of the same. At the Grammys, I forgot to mention Jaden Smith, Will Smith's kid, wore a castle on his head. He wore a castle on his head. Home Alone. I don't know. I mean, like, what's he doing? Big house, no furniture. Like, what's going on? What's the message? Was he what stance is he taking? Is it a political thing? Like, my face is a garage, or like, a man's head is his castle. Like, what is? I don't. I didn't get it, but I also didn't look too long because there was a naked woman next to him, and I was like, hello. Sex is fun, but have you ever put like chocolate covered peanuts in popcorn? Wow, it's just so good. It's just like the goobers inside the buttered popcorn. Nom nom, so good. I always think about different things when I wake up. Things come to me. Like the other day, I thought, hey, they should make a Threads store and call "Told You So." Like, that'd be a great name. "Told You So" SEW. That'd be super super cool. I also wonder why, like, the Strangest Things kids, Stranger Things, the Stranger Things kids look like they're 40. How do you ever notice that when you're watching a show, eventually the child stars look older than you do? What's up with that? I'm going to credit my friend Steve for this quote, but I agree. Voicemails are just mini podcasts. It's true. I can't leave I can't leave a voice message that isn't like 8 minutes long, like in 4 separate 2-minute parts. I just start talking, and it's like, because of this, it's not because the person listening isn't going, "Oh dear God, pick my brain." You know what I mean? Like, they're going, "Okay, yeah, I get it. He's talking." And it's cool. So why wouldn't you share that gift of talking too much to somebody who wants to listen? Because let's be honest, it's very cool, very cool, very cool. I started doing the pod water. I started doing the podcast a couple more times a week because I'm just having fun. I'm just enjoying it. If you're enjoying it, again, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's why we do it. I'm not, and like, I would love more listeners. And if this works, cool. But still, it's Monday. I'm not currently on the clock. I'm still writing my movie. I'm on path 2. I've got my notes. I'm applying them. It's very difficult to go in. And I guess this is just all things me and what I think, but not about me, but as much as about what I think. And basically what it is, it's content. It's like, oh, I just listened to all the podcasts that I like. What else can I listen to? Rolling Stone called this show. It's fine. Like, and I agree. It is. It's fine. It's really interesting. Some people are like, oh, I really get it. Is he going to be positive today? I'm positive every day. Well, I'd like to tell you that today I ended my 20-hour fast with an apple and a hard-boiled egg, and I walked for 5 miles. What up? What am I going to do later? I don't know. Probably fall asleep at like 5 p.m. because I've been up since 5 a.m. But why is it like people in your 70s are like rock stars? Like, total rock stars are like, they're like playing stadiums and touring and doing all this kick-ass stuff. And dudes in their 30s are like falling asleep on the couch, playing video games, eating pizza, having pizza for blood type. It's pretty crazy. I don't know. I guess it's maybe that explains why, like, a few years ago, I wasn't as healthy. But it did involve effort. It did involve me trying to get healthier. You know what I mean? It's like, that's definitely one of the reasons. Do you know MMA? Are you familiar with MMA stuff? Am I asking a question to myself? Like, who's gonna respond to me and be like, oh yeah, yeah, I've been watching MMA. I watch MMA. I love the UFC. As I've said several times, it's like people. It's human chess. It's box. It's really cool. I enjoy it. But there are certain personalities, and you get to see some of these people. And these people are tough. These, obviously, they're ultimate fighting champion candidates, and some of these guys are way better than others, and some of these women are way better than others. But some of them are incredibly unique personalities. There's a UFC fighter named Bryce Mitchell, and he's an incredible fighter. He's really scrappy, and I think he had a history with meth, and his family we used to train him with drug addicts, and he got past it and he got through it, and he is really good. He's very good. Like he usually wins. He's really good at what he does. But he got a podcast, and say whatever you want about my podcast. There's never been a time on any show that I've been on. This has been on, like Heroin Has a Great Publicist, like Super Famous, all these different podcasts, like podcasts during the pandemic when I was just smashed and I was just talking and just winging it and, not understanding what it meant to have thousands and thousands of listeners while I was drunk, just fucking off. I never once was like, Hitler was cool. Hitler was cool. Like I never, what do you, how with what kind of, like, it's a special kind of smart. It's the kind of person who like buys the board game Yahtzee just so they can be like, oh, was it, I just got a not what? And it's just, I don't know. It's annoying. I always think that like the coolest person comment, like, how they talk about, like, they set you up to have this conversation of like who the coolest person in the room is going to be. Like when you're in high school, that's when it starts. It's popular kids doing cool stuff, people click parties, whatever. And it sets you up for the future. And the phrase like the coolest person in the room, like, who is the coolest person in any room? Me personally, as I said, it's not me. I'm not the coolest person in the room unless there's a fan on me. Because then I'm usually like, are you warm? Like I'm flushed constantly. Even when I'm like, I could cold plunge and I would come out and my body would be like, didn't feel it. Did you feel anything? I didn't feel that. Which is strange because like I can have ice on my knees for like 10 hours and I'm just like, are you feeling it? That's the thing. But I always think like the coolest person in any room is probably the person who left first. That's the coolest person. It's like the Edie Sedgwick move where you're like, bye. And you're just like, wait, where'd they go? I was having fun. But also, is it you? Are you the coolest person in the room because you stayed? I think based on perspective, whoever we are and whatever we're doing is the coolest thing in the world. We're distracted by so many different things that prevent us from appreciating our own existence. We are constantly getting advertisements for other people's lives that really have no impact on us whatsoever. We're constantly being told about this political opinion, this billionaire's approach, this celebrity's thought process, this person who won or who didn't, this show, this party, this event. When in reality, you're right there. You're smack dab in the middle of your life. And if you're not attending that event, you can deal and dwell in the FOMO, but ultimately you exist in the moment of now. And why wouldn't you not give a fuck of who left the room first? I understand it's a contradicting approach, but then again, this is my brain. This is what I do. It's my thing. And it's like they left the room because they had somewhere cooler to be. So then you anticipate everything always looks cooler than it is, especially when there's advertising constantly. I had someone say to me, oh, I finally downloaded your podcast because I saw that it was everywhere. There was all those posts. No, I just post about it constantly in hope. You know who I love? I love Jeff Dwoskin. He's a comedian out of Michigan. He does podcasts. He went all in. I don't know. I have no idea how successful or not successful his podcast is. I'm sure it's great because he's smart and funny. But I'm under the impression that 1 million people listen a week to his podcast because he promotes it constantly, and God bless him. So like, why shouldn't I do the same thing for what I'm doing? What does this have to do with the coolest person in any room? I think the coolest person in any room, as I said a few minutes ago, is you. There's no one cooler. You're like able to argue it and able to say there's definitely much cooler people than me. There's whatever. And from a humble perspective, the only person you're ever allowed to be is yourself. So why wouldn't you think you're the coolest? Doing things alone. Do you do things alone? Obviously, I do. I podcast alone. Do a lot of things alone. Do you ever go to the bar by yourself? Is that uncool? Is that creepy? Like, do you ever just go to the bar? Burp. Ever just go to the bar, get a beer, just play with your phone, just have a bar, just to chill out, just to get the atmosphere, just to absorb it? Do you ever go to the bar? Do you ever raw dog a bar? Go to a bar without your phone? You're like a lesson. You're like a legend. You're not a lesson. God, I'm really good at. I need more water. This is crazy. I love water. Water's good. Everybody always asks, and by everybody I mean not one person ever, why is it that you drink out of red plastic cups? Can you not afford silverware? Can you not afford glasses? Nope. I've got a whole pantry full of glasses. I have a whole thing of silverware. But for the 20 years when I was super poor and I was like struggling, I would constantly eat plastic silverware and take it from places. I would literally go to a takeout place and I would swipe like 20 forks and I would take 10 cups. So I always had cups that I could just drink out of because I didn't have a washing machine. And it was just like, it was just easier to have disposable stuff. Is that why the environment is in trouble? Yeah. It's because of me 20 years ago. It's absolutely why I did it. But I also just enjoy the comfort of the red plastic cup because some people are like, oh, is he drinking alcohol? No, I don't drink alcohol in plastic cups. Isn't that weird? That's the weird part about it. Who am I looking at? I'm looking at you. Does it look like I'm looking at you? I don't know. I'm in a good mood. What else is going on? Okay, so whenever you meet somebody, let's see how we're doing on time. Well, we're doing great on time. We're wrapping it up. We're going to go to the rapid fire area. This is what I wanted to talk about. You ever notice like your first thought whenever you meet someone is either 1,000% correct or 1,000,000% incorrect? Like the first time you meet someone, you're just like, this person is a fucking idiot. I can't even believe it. Like it's your first impression. And then you start talking to me like, oh, maybe I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm dumb. What do you do? Like, and then you're like, well, wait a second. Before it's like your first thought, it's like a smart thought. It doesn't come on right away. I don't even know what this is about. I'm just bullshitting because I got distracted again. But I'm back. I'm back to know it and what I'm doing. I'm back to knowing what it is that I'm talking about. I always do that. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to working tomorrow night at Yamashiro in Hollywood. I'm looking forward to working at the Laugh Factory Long Beach on Saturday. I'm looking forward to Detroit and the Catalina Jazz Club the following week. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be there. I don't understand why they have expiration dates on bottled water. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why do they do that? Like, it's bottled water. It's plastic. Why are hotel checkouts at 11 a.m.? Like, why not 10? Why not either check out at like 7 a.m. or like noon? You can't check in till 4. Like, you really are that short staffed that's going to take your cleaning people 4 hours because you have extra sheets. You're just changing them. Like, how dirty is that room? How about one? One is cool. But if you have a ton of points, you can check out at 2, and then a new person can still check in at 4. I don't understand free trial. Free trials are like the same amount, like in the calories on the bags for food. Like, yeah, potato chips are only like 130 calories if you have 6. Who counts 6 chips? My per serving is per bag, which I think is why I'm puffy sometimes, but it is what it is. Free trial. They lock you in on your phone. I don't know. What's your clickbait stuff? What crabs you every time? Like what ads are on your thing? Like mine are always like, I always have like weird death ads, like, is your life insurance in order? And I'm like, dude, I just woke up. Dude, are you safe from dementia? I mean, I think I am. And then it's like, are you safe from dementia? And I was like, I think so. And then I keep scrolling. It's like, are you safe from dementia? And I'm like, I keep not seeing the same ad. That's the joke I'm trying to do. And whenever someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, do you like comedy? Run. Just run. Just get out of there. It's just like, I don't know. Just run. How about just tell me something that's funny? That's cool. How about a group activity that ends with, oh, okay, you know what? Let's just go around and introduce ourselves. That's not. I taught a comedy class this week. It was a lot of fun. I did my friend Miles Weber's comedy class, and I taught 6 new kids. They were great. I gave them my 5 steps of stand-up. Also, if you want to take a comedy class or if you want me to teach you how to write, feel free. Text me 310-696-8151. 4 weeks, affordable, enjoyable. A lot of fun, a lot of one-on-one time. What else did I want to talk about? Let's see. Pick your brain. I already did that. Let's see. I asked 3 questions. I prepare so hard for these shows when it ends up me just talking randomly, and I'll be honest, I have to do it. And again, it's for me. It's just kind of like going to the gym. I just have to practice my mouth movements for an hour. Okay, have you ever sent someone a Venmo request for $1 just to see if they do it? It's funny. I don't know. I think it's funny. Do you ever like sit in an exit row on a plane and be like, when they come over and they're like, "Are you willing to help in the event of an emergency?" You're like, "Myself," and just see what they say. It could, yeah, I'll help myself first. Like, see what happens when you do that. I hope there's no bad stuff with planes happening anytime soon as I'm traveling to Michigan. But I love you, everybody. Thank you for listening. If you do like the show, please subscribe, please follow us on YouTube or wherever it is that you get your podcasts. This is the Newberg Podcast. There will be another one this week with Newberg and Hannah. I'm Newberg. Hannah will be sitting right here. She won't be. She'll be right there. And then we got another advice, guys. I think Jennifer Murphy's going to come back and jump on, and we're going to do some more advice stuff. Again, if you love it, keep listening. If you don't, obviously I'll never know because you'll stop. But huge fans of all of you. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, be cool, and